everyone, I'm Elaine, and today I'm going to share with you the top 5 reasons that I would personally choose a shore excursion over going out off the ship and doing it ourselves. And the first one is tender process. So what I wasn't aware of, and I'm not sure whether many people are aware of, but if your ship is at tender, so you have to go from the ship on a boat to get to the port, then actually shore excursion passengers tend to get priority. So when we were in Cabo, we weren't aware because we were already on a shore excursion called Salsa and Salsa, which is brilliant. I'll put some footage in here in a minute. But what we found is when we got back to go back to the ship, it was about a 50-minute queue. So I think if we got that straight off, and had to wait 50 minutes to get to the shore, it would have dulled the experience just a little bit. So I think if you're on a tender, have a look at the shore excursions on offer, and if possible, get yourself booked on one. The second thing I would say is that the US ports are something to really think about, especially if it's your first US port. So on entry into the US, if you're not a US citizen, then you have to go through immigration. Everyone on the ship has to go through immigration. So they have to process thousands of people in one go. And when we entered the US, the first place we entered it was San Francisco. And we heard stories of people getting off at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because they had to wait for the process to take place. Now, if you were on a shore excursion, you would have got off earlier than that. Now, I'm not saying you would be off at 8, 9 o'clock because I don't think that happened. I do think the process took quite a lot of time, but you do get priority, so it's worthwhile. We were really lucky in the US. Lucky or not lucky, my husband's father took ill in Los Angeles, and the ship were absolutely brilliant helping us get off so that we could do an emergency trip down to see him. And actually, looking back now, it was the last time that we saw him, so it was really good of the cruise line to do that. Sorry, got a bit emotional then. We don't want that. It's happy cruise talk. So yeah, next thing I would say is about meeting new people. So one of the things that we found when we did Salsa and Salsa, we are not dancers and we're not really chefs either. So the whole concept of making salsa and doing the salsa was a little bit alien to us. And my husband was like, I'm not sure I want to do that. But we had the best time. Not going to lie, a few margaritas helped along the way. But, loads of people were joining in and it was just good fun. And my husband kind of took the lead on the cooking bit and I did a little bit of the dancing. So you do get to meet lots of new people and then you could see them again on the ship. Obviously, when you reboard, you bump into them, have a quick chat about different things, about what they've been up to. And it's a way to kind of make friends, a really good one. And then on that note, if you want to meet like-minded people, so say, for example, you're a photographer, there was quite a few, very keen photographers on board who took some amazing pictures. If you go on a trip that's a photography trip, or you go on a trip that's a hike, or you go on a trip that's actually based on your interests, then you're going to meet like-minded people who also have that as an interest, and therefore, you do meet people. These ships are very big places. You get a couple of thousand people on them, and actually being able to kind of, find those like-minded people is quite difficult. So by doing this, then You know, it's a way of finding another photographer or another person who loves to walk or hike. Very much think about the 2-hour rule. I probably made up the 2-hour rule in all fairness, but I've always had it, which is that if there's any shore excursion or any activity that we want to do that is over 2 hours away from the ship, we will always go on a shore excursion, because, you know, you can get stuck in traffic, there could be an accident, anything like that. And already 2 hours is hard enough to navigate, you know, to get back to the ship safely and on time. You know, any more than that, and you really are, you know, taking a big risk. You know, you hear about people that, you know, go from the port and go to Rome, which is like 3, 4, 5 hours away. And they do it fine and safely, but it is a risk. So I do think that the 2-hour rule is a good one, especially for us. I think we just feel comfortable throughout the day knowing that, you know, if we head back with kind of 3 hours to spare, then we're going to be absolutely fine, because even if we do get an accident, you know, we will still make it back. And the last one I wanted to mention was safety. Now, you might be travelling alone, you might never have been to certain countries before, and that country might have had, you know, problems in the past, and you really can't buy safety. Now, I know short excursions can be expensive. I always tend to kind of book them a year in advance and save up for them, for that very reason, that sometimes we just want to feel safe, and that's okay. So I would say always make sure that you feel safe and comfortable, and, you know, by going on a short excursion, you can take some of that risk away. Moving on then to some of the things that I take with me. So obviously we use a rucksack. It's kind of just standard these days. A lot of people will use a rucksack. But also, you know, in the intense heat, you know, there's been times where it's been like 40 odd degrees. I think when we were in Dubrovnik once, it was so hot. The handheld fans are very useful. We've got a blue one that also has a stand, you know, that you can stand it up on in the cabin. So it's actually multi-purpose. And also, one of our friends that we met on the World Cruise, she had like a towel that you put in to cool, and then you popped it out and put it around your neck. And she used quite a few of those. I think it was like a pack of 2. So I'll try and find them on Amazon and put them down below if anyone finds those useful. We've also seen the fans that kind of go around your neck, so you're not kind of carrying them around. I think they're good as well. So it's kind of whatever works for you, but making sure that you keep yourself cool. Obviously keep suntan cream on. You've got a rucksack to carry, you know, a change of clothes, or if you maybe want to go swimming. We have a waterproof pouch for our phones. We actually got it when we were in Thailand once. We were given it by the hotel for free. But again, I'll try and find those and put a picture up here. But you know, being able to, if you're swimming with turtles, you know, going out on a yacht or anything like that, having your phone in a sealed pouch, knowing it's safe no matter what happens, is also a good idea. So something else to think about. So that's my top 5. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Next week we are going to be talking about things that cost quite a bit more on a cruise than they do on land. So please join us for that. If you click the bell, that'd be really appreciated, and you'll get notified next week to join us then. Take care. Bye.